Hello everyone. Just got back from my local coin shop and I wanted to pick up some 90% silver. Now, usually when I buy 90% silver, I always go for Mercury Dimes. So, my shop, the way they sell it is they usually have the dimes in one container, quarters in another, half dollars in another. And I pick through them and I pull out the Mercuries, and every once in a while you might actually find a bobber or a seated Liberty, so I tend to buy those when I have the chance. Well, I'm usually pretty lucky. I'll go in, I'll buy a bunch of 90%, and I leave. And the way he charges is by the gram. So if you get, let's say, 50 or 100 dimes with very little wear on them or no wear, versus 50 or 100 that are really worn, you pay less for them because there's less silver. So the last couple of times I bought them, which really hasn't been for a while, maybe like 5 weeks ago, they were charging around 68 to 71, 72 cents a gram. When I went in a couple of weeks ago, he didn't have, well, actually, for the last few weeks, he hasn't had any 90% dimes and no 90% half dollars. He was also telling me that the premium on half dollars there's a premium over the typical 90% silver prices. And I was telling me, yeah, I had heard that. That's pretty much a common thing, because I'm not one of these people to complain about prices, especially when it's the truth. I know the demand is up. I mean, you can see that. I shop a lot. I peruse different coin and bullion sites and eBay and stuff. So I mean, I know what prices are, and I totally believe that not only is silver is going up a little bit lately. It's up to a little over 24 as the making of this video, but that the demand is increasing quite a bit for 90% silver. So I wasn't surprised to hear that. So I went in today and I said, "Do you have any 90% silver dimes?" And he just looked at me and goes, "I do." He said, "But it's 91 cents a gram." So it's going up about 30% in a couple of weeks. And I said, "Yeah, that's all right." He goes, "I said, I know, it's been going up lately." He goes, "Well, yeah, it's not just the silver." He says, it's because of the demand for it. I said, "Yeah." I said, I've been reading that demand is crazy for 90%. Well, I pretty much made up my mind then. I said, I'm going to buy as many 90% dimes as I can that are not FDR. I don't like Roosevelt dimes. I don't like FDR. I'll get into that another time. But this was all I could get. 35 Mercury dimes. That's all that he had for me to purchase, so I bought them all. And like I said, I paid a little more than usual, but again, I don't mind. I really like the Mercury dimes. I like them for several reasons. I think I've mentioned this previously too. I like the design. I like the fact that they're 90% silver, but don't look like any current money, like the Roosevelts. So people kind of, if they see them, they're kind of going to stop and say, "Wait a minute, something's a little different about this dime." And I also like how it's more fractional. Like if let's say you need a $10 and you have only 1 ounce bars. Well, you got to sell the whole 1 ounce bar. Whereas if you need $10 here, you only have to sell 5, roughly. So I like the Mercury dimes. That's definitely my favorite. Plus, I just like collecting them. So we were talking a little bit about 90%, and it's just getting tougher and tougher to find. I've been watching a lot of YouTube stations, and there are certain ones out there like Yankee Stacking, Spectacular. Trying to think of a few other ones. I think it was Empire Precious Metals, and they've been talking about how 90%. Oh, another one is Vermilion Enterprises. Interesting video. That guy, he owns a shop. He puts his premiums up. Either daily or almost daily. Pretty interesting to see how they fluctuate. And basically the common thread is silver is going up, but 90% silver is going up faster than the rate of silver itself. And it makes perfect sense to me, because I could see how people would prefer 90% due to the fact that it's printed by a sovereign government. It's our sovereign government. It's from our country. It's fractional. The fineness is known. The amount of silver in each coin is known. So of course wear might cause some doubt, but the fineness of the coins are known. Like I said, the recognizability, the fact that they have some numismatic value rather than just buying a buffalo round. And one of the big things, and I think it's finally starting to sink through to people, is a lot of this stuff was melted. Now, you look at some of these Mercury Dimes, these were made from 1916 to 1945. A lot of these dimes were just lost over the year. Maybe people were walking and I don't know, they fell down a sewer, or they were in a house that caught on fire. They lost change in a couch that was thrown away. So some of them are just missing and they're lost to history. Besides that, there are some that are still around, but the dates are totally worn off. So you could have a 1916D, but it doesn't say 1916D. It doesn't even say 19. It says nothing. Was there a mint mark there? Maybe, but you'll never know because it's worn well beyond the rims, so you just don't know. So when you look at mintages for some of these years and it says there was 1 million made, or 2 million, or 23 million, probably not. Just due to, basic attrition from circulation, you probably have a lot of these coins just gone. Now, add that to the fact that over the years, a lot of silver was sold, and was sold and melted, I should say. And then, from what I read, there was quite a bit of melting around 1980 or so, when silver was $50, $50 an ounce. And I believe, and don't hold me to this because this is just a guess on my part, but silver at $50 in 1980 was a lot different than silver at almost 50 in 2011, because of course that's, if in inflation adjusted dollars, it actually might have been like 80 or 100. So you had a lot of pressure on people to sell them. And I've seen interviews with people in particular who said that they were just melting like crazy. Coin shops were getting them, they were shipping them out. And talking to some local coin dealers now, it's still something that gets done. I've heard about one local coin dealer, and he'll just pay a scrap 90% price on stuff. But it's not like he's doing this and then going through them and trying to pick out these dates, going ha 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 ha. The guy's just not actually too bright, so he'll just kind of throw everything to the refiner, and it'll just get melted. And from my understanding, he's actually melted some stuff with numismatic value that he just either didn't care to go through or just didn't think enough to do. So that's pretty scary as it is. So when you see a lot of these things, there's just not that many around. And another thing I would suggest to you is, if you haven't already, check out PCGS Coin Facts. If you have a particular coin, let's say you're talking about an 1892 barber quarter. Go to Google or another search engine, type in 1892 barber quarter PCGS. Chances are the first thing you're going to see is a coin facts result, and you can click there, or you can just get the PCGS Coin Facts app, and they tell you survival ratings and relative rarity. Now, I question some of the survival data. Now, keep in mind, it's just an estimate, and they'll be the first ones to tell you that. It's partially based on grading populations from the major grading agencies, what they feel are ungraded that are still in existence. But a lot of times you might see coins that had, say, 1 million minted, but they might feel there's only like 12,000 left or 15,000. Which, at first glance seems kind of crazy, but I don't know, sometimes I think it might be possible. Especially when you look at some of the older coins, because, you look at something from the 19th century now and we go, wow, that's old. But, in the 70s, it was 50 years newer. So whereas we might look at a coin from, 1890 and say, well, that's 133 years old. Well, back then it was like 80, so it might not have impressed them that much, and it might be like all worn and stuff, so they're thinking, well, this isn't worth anything, and then, into the fire it goes. So, like I said, check it out. It's really interesting to see what they estimate, and while I don't believe it's 100% on the money and correct and, should be gospel by any means, it does make you think. It certainly makes you think, and I do think that the typical numbers are a lot closer to the survival rates than they are to the mintages. So sometimes you might see a coin that was 1 million were minted, and they're saying 10,000 are in existence. Well, it might be not as few as 10,000, but there's no way it's 1 million, because some were destroyed. But if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably below the 500,000 more than above the 500,000, just because of some of these silver melts we have. And I think that if you see silver going up really high, I think you're going to see a lot of people who don't know any better just taking all their silver to, places like pawn shops and these we buy gold, we buy silver places who aren't coin collectors and don't really have much use for coins, just basically what they can get from it. So, whereas some of us, we enjoy the beauty of the design, we enjoy the history, the potential scarcity of it. Some people are just looking for just for a quick dollar. There's no bone in their body that thinks that they're trying to preserve something or that they're a steward of something. Because let's face it, if we buy a beautiful coin one day, we're not always going to have that coin because we're going to be dead one day. So I could buy a beautiful coin and enjoy looking at it, enjoy owning it. But who knows, one day in the future, well, I shouldn't say who knows, it's going to happen, I'm going to die. And someone else is going to get that coin. So maybe the 10 or 20 or 30 years I've had it, I was just the steward responsible for its saving and preservation. But not everybody cares about that or thinks like that. So, that makes you think that there are so many businesses like that out there that a lot more of these coins are just going to go to the refiner and get melted. And in a lot of cases, the refiners probably don't care. Maybe some of them know something about coins and they'll save them, either for themselves or realize that they could make a profit by selling it based on the numismatic value. But, for every person who is like that or thinks like that, there's probably more that just figure, okay, I bought this for, X amount per ounce, and I'll melt it, and then I'll sell it for X plus per ounce to try and make a profit. And that's the way the world goes. So just a little something to keep in mind. So if you see this stuff out there, I would definitely pick it up. And the one other thing to bring up is, for the longest time, you've been seeing dimes, quarters, and half dollars going for a particular price that was close to spot. Now that premium's increasing. Now, if you think back 5-10 years, there's been a premium on Morgan dollars and peace dollars because they were more in demand. Now you're starting to see that premium applied to half dollars. Not just the regular premium you're seeing on dimes and quarters, but it's actually increasing. Okay, so it's like you're paying one particular price in relation to silver for the dimes and the quarters, and then that price plus the premium for the half dollars, and then the premium for, let's say, Cull Morgan dollars and peace dollars is up even higher. You might see I believe that the scrap value, the melt value on Morgans and peace dollars is roughly $17. Don't hold me to that either. I'm just doing some quick math. But I was seeing Cull Morgans and peace dollars going for $26 a few weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. Last week I saw them going for $27, and silver's jumped up $1 change. So I'm thinking those are probably up to $28. So you're looking at about $4 over an ounce. You're looking at about $11 premium on those, which is like American Eagle territory if you think about it. Although I'd much rather have Morgans and peace dollars than American Eagles. I'll do another video on that one of these days. But like I said, just wanted to put this on your radar, and if you're on the fence about maybe buying some initially or buying more, I would pick up some more 90% silver. If you're out there and you're in the market to buy some bars or some silver rounds, I'd at least put something into the 90%. I think it's good to have, and I think you will be glad you did at some point in the not too distant future. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. If you like this video, I do appreciate the thumbs up. See ya.